After a Cloquet teen died from a widely available drug that faces few regulations, loved ones and medical experts are pushing for change tonight. The drug is called kratom, and it's often sold as drinks, shots, powders, tablets, capsules, and gummies. In small amounts, kratom acts as a stimulant and is often marketed as an energy booster or a tool for managing anxiety. But in higher doses, it can have severe effects or even be deadly. Kratom is not federally regulated, and while it's not fully regulated on the state level either, in Minnesota, a new law did go into effect in August, raising the legal age to buy kratom from 18 to 21. And Northern News Now's Kyrie Johnson spoke with locals who want more action on this crisis and medical professionals who say they see this ruining people's lives every single day.
People on the Iron Range are feeling the impacts of a tragedy in Cloquet. In memory of 15-year-old Parker Martindale, communities are coming together while local advocates launch a campaign to warn about the dangers of kratom, an unregulated substance that's widely available across Minnesota. Kratom is sold in smoke shops, gas stations, and even some food stores.
Same class of medications that like fentanyl, oxycodone, hydrocodone, methadone.
It's a fight against a quiet crisis fueled by a plant that many assume is safe just because it's legal.
They've taken that and then they've concentrated it and sold it and packaged it into pills, which has a much higher risk of leading to addiction, has a much higher risk of leading to a nasty withdrawal syndrome.
Without FDA regulation, there's no oversight to stop other harmful substances from being mixed in. Doctors say that lack of control has led to a 5-fold increase in local kratom overdoses, including for 15-year-old Parker Martindale, who family says died from a lethal amount of synthetic kratom, thinking it was an ordinary energy supplement.
But what really happens after a 21-year-old purchases it and brings it home, especially when it's marketed like a 5-hour energy drink?
Now his family and local business owners are turning their pain into a mission to save others.
Not having accessible places where you can go get help, find resources, go to meetings, that adds to that number.
In the meantime, Parker's family has started a petition to ban kratom sales locally, but doctors warn of a double-edged sword.
Because the concern is that as regulation increases, that these things go away. And then where do they turn? You get something off the street, it will be fentanyl.
Organizers are still looking for volunteers to help with Parker's memorial events on September 12th. We'll have more details on our website. In Chisholm, Kyrie Johnson, Northern News Now.
And Parker's memorial event will start at noon in Cloquet. It features food trucks, prizes, keynote speakers, as well as free Narcan education, before then wrapping up with a memorial drive to dedicate a skate park bench in Parker's honor.